Regular monthly meeting of the Rockwood City Council to order. This time I'd ask that you stand for the prayer by Mr. Ishman and remain standing and pledge the flag. Mr. Ishman.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity we have to meet together this evening. We thank you for the help that you've given us, and we thank you for keeping us safe. And we thank you for this city, and we thank you for the many good things that are going on here and the many good people. We ask the Lord to bless this town, bless the council members, and keep us all safe. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bryant.
Here.
Councilman Fuller.
Here.
Councilman Holloway.
Here.
Councilman Jolly.
Here.
Councilman True.
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here. All present. Do have a quorum. You received the minutes from the October 19, 2020 meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? Do I hear a motion to be approved?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway to be approved. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Councilman Jolly. Councilman Holloway. Councilman Jolly. Anyone? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it. Next item is presentation of an approval of financials, October 2020 financial reports and bank info. What's the will of council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman True. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Councilman Anderson. Councilman True, do you have anything?
I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Ruby.
Ms. Ruby?
You have a copy of the bank statements in your packet. In the general fund as of October the 31st, we had a balance of $565,880.05. Reserve and emergency, $346,036.73. TVA foundation funds, $11,556.72. Payroll fund had $825.42. Drug fund, $43,734.06. State Street aid, $129,770.34. Special revenue fund, $97,168.75. Capital projects, $296,514.65. And our capital investments at Raymond James is at zero now, and the total for all accounts was $1,492,294.26. You also have a copy of the summary financials that shows each department. We're well within where we should be as of October 31st. And you have a copy of all the checks that were written in the month of October. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Anything further, Councilman True?
No.
Councilman Anderson? Anyone? Ms. Ruby, how have we done on our property tax collections?
We've Of course, we didn't get them out till the end of October, 1st of November, but a lot of the mortgage companies have taken advantage of the 2%. I think we're a little over 300,000 already.
Thank you. Anything further? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is public comments. We don't have any public tonight. I do want to welcome our new council-elect, April.
Thank you.
Congratulations, glad to have you. Committee reports from council. Does anyone have any tonight? Okay. Moving on to old business, ordinance 1273, an ordinance adopting internal controls policy for the city of Rockwood, public hearing and second reading. The public hearing for ordinance 1273 is open now. Anyone want to address ordinance 1273? Last call. Public hearing is now closed. Moving on to ordinance 1273, an ordinance adopting internal controls policy for the city of Rockwood. We haven't updated this since 2012, and the auditors recommended that we do it. MTAS, state controllers, all recommended that we update this, and this is the updated, what we've got now, so I recommend it. And as I said, our audit company recommends it too. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fuller. Councilman Holloway.
Nothing.
Councilman Fuller.
Nothing.
Anyone? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is new business ordinance 1274, an ordinance adopted for the purpose of amending the city of Rockwood, Tennessee municipal zoning ordinance regulating development within the corporate limits of Rockwood to minimize danger to life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program. This is the first reading. This is what was needed to update. As you know, in downtown Rockwood, we've not been able to do any buildings or anything till we got this completed. They have got it completed, and this is one step that we have to update it to meet those qualifications. And you'll see the things that have changed in this document are all the yellow places that are highlighted for you, so you'll know what they are. And you can see them here on all the different pages. And this is first reading, so we'll have a second reading and a public hearing next month. I would, if it's all right with council, I'd like to yield to Harold. Harold, is there anything else we need to talk about on this?
The main driver behind this is that anybody that wants to build or any kind of construction that goes on in the flood area, and it has to have approval from FEMA, they would have to go by the guidelines set in this ordinance. When I initially started doing this, I sent our ordinance to FEMA. They come back and said, you have to update your ordinance because it doesn't cover some of the conditions that's under their new requirements. So this is going to be a benefit, not only for the water departments want to build, but any future development that might come into the city in these flood areas.
Do I hear a motion that it be approved on first reading?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilman Fuller?
Well, we've been waiting a long time for FEMA to get their act together, so now we're getting to the end of the road here, I believe. So I recommend we pass this so we can start the new building downtown. And also, I know there's been an instance where some people haven't been able to get proper mortgages on something that's sold downtown there because they can't get their flood out. So this will solve that problem, I believe.
Councilman Bryant?
I echo that as well. He said it all.
Anyone else? Remember, this is first reading. We will have a second final reading at next month's meeting and a public hearing. Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is ordinance 1275, an ordinance authorizing fines and costs to be collected through a collection agency. Ms. Rupi and her ladies got looking through, we've got about $300,000 of unpaid fines over a long period of time. She got with Mr. Lefevue and wanted to know if we could get a firm to start trying to collect these for us. We can, but we have to approve this that authorizes it through an ordinance. And then we'll put, once we get through this and get this done, get two readings, public hearing, then we'll put an RFP out to take bids for people to see who wants to do it. Most of the time, what happens is they do it. They don't charge you anything, they just take a part of what they collect. So this could be a good opportunity for maybe us to get some additional funds in here. It's ordinance 1275, what's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman True. Councilman Holloway.
I just think there's funds out there that we need to collect from here, because there are people to do it.
Councilman True.
Nothing.
Anyone?
Will there be a cutoff of how far they can go back and try to collect, or will it just be from when this passes moving forward? Or?
It'll be based on the statute of limitations, and I don't recall what it is for these particular type of cases, but I will look it up and advise you.
Thank you. Anything else, Councilman Jolly? Anyone else? Again, now we've got a second reading and a public hearing at next month if you have any other questions. Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2052, resolution authorizing the City of Rockwood to participate in public entities partners matching grant program. What this basically is that we, got my sheet right here with something wrote on it, and I put it up. It's grants that our insurance company allows us to participate in and apply for. There's only two. And this one here would be able, it's a 50-50 match. And what it is, it's like for cameras and things like that, for securities on properties that they're insuring. So if we're able to get one of these grants and we're able to update it, it could make our insurance go down. So they allow you to apply for these, don't know whether you get them or not, but this will give us the opportunity to apply for 50-50 money. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Jolly. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson. Councilman Jolly.
I think anytime we can go after some free money to help us out on things, we should.
Councilman Anderson.
No.
Anyone? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2053, a resolution authorizing the Rockwood City Attorney to file a suit concerning an unsafe structure located at 524 North Wilder Avenue. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman True. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilman True.
Nothing.
Councilman Bryant.
Just cleaning up more of the stuff that needs to come down, making our town better.
Anyone else? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2054, resolution requesting Senator Yeager and Representative Calfee to introduce legislation into the Tennessee General Assembly to repeal and replace Private Act 1997, Chapter 32.
Councilman Anderson?
Mayor, I'd like to turn this back over to, Mr. Lefevue, let him look into it, to make sure everything that we've got in there is correct and verify it through, impasse.
Yes.
Verify it through.
Will do.
Okay. So you're just asking for it to defer to,
To Ms. Lefevue can look it over again.
and let him pass review and possibly make recommendations? Is that okay with everybody? Motion is to defer, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fuller. No discussion on motion to defer. Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2055, a resolution authorizing the city attorney to file suit concerning an unsafe structure located at 211 West Dunn Street. What's the will, council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson. Councilman Holloway.
Harold, is that the one closest to Chamberlain Street?
Correct.
The one next to it, we're gonna do anything with it?
We've already condemned it, I think we got a court date on it, but it's in February. So, this is the process to get, the next step would be to get a court date.
Thank you.
Who made the second?
Anderson?
Bob, did you have anything further? Anyone else? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2056, a master recreation planning resolution establishing goals and incentives and approving a plan related to the city of Rockwood Parks and Rec to coincide with the recreation tourism industry of Rome County. What this basically is, gives us a plan in place that we're trying to do in the next 10 years. And we know we're not going to be able to follow it to the T, because there's cost involved in here and things like that. But it does go a long ways if you have this in place. If you decide to file for a grant or something, they look to make sure that you have this in place. And again, it's just a plan, and it lists all the things we can do and the different ways that we go about them and things like that. It's something we really need to get in place to be established for the future. What's the will of council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Jolly. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fuller. Discussion, Councilman Jolly.
If we pass this, do we have to stick with everything that's on it exactly? I mean, can you deviate from it at all, or, I mean, is it set in stone what's in this plan?
Nothing is set in stone, but we partnered with Rome County to do the plan. So this is what that organization says we need to do. You don't have to do any of it, but if you don't do any of it and you go apply for a park and recreation grant or something of that nature, this is a tool to allow you to get the support to get that grant approved.
If you decided down the road that you wanted to change one of those areas in there, you wanted to do that, could you?
They said
Change it
it can be
where you
changed every day if you choose to change it.
Okay. That's all I have.
Councilman Fuller.
Well, it's always good to have a plan in place, especially for our parks and recreations.
If it is revised, it must be revised by the city council.
Anything further? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is approval to change city cell phones over to FirstNet. What I understand about this is that our phones, after December 31st, they're over, some of them 3 years old, most of them all over 2 years old. They will not be supported after December 31st. Now, they'll work, but we won't have any support for them. Now, these are, according to Ms. Becky, will you explain to us?
cell phones that are all flip phones. So our police department has what they call hotspots. So when they upload their reports or do a report in their car, they have to have one of those hotspots to do it, to their Chromebooks or whatever it is they have in their car. Fire has no way of doing any reports in their vehicles. They have to come back to the station to do theirs. Right now, we have probably 4 or 5 police officers that don't have a phone at all, because these that we have now, the flip phones, are out of date. They won't issue you another one. So the plan we are on is the flip phones. So because somebody, like say a new officer needed to be issued a phone, I can't issue him one because I can't get a phone on the old plan. And if I get him a phone, I gotta start a new plan. So it's just a perfect opportunity to change to FirstNet. It's gonna be more expensive. The equipment is not expensive. It's all 99 cents a piece. So we get like 43 smartphones, hotspots for the employees that currently have phones. The difference with fire and police is, or police especially, they don't have to have hotspots anymore. If they're on an accident, they can take pictures with their smartphone. It's all unlimited. They can upload from, their phones will all have a hotspot in it. They can use that hotspot for their, whatever kind of books they have in their cars. Our building inspector currently has to take a little camera out to take pictures. And then he has to come back and take the flash drive out of his camera and put it in his computer, and it just takes time. Then he has to print the pictures. If he had a smartphone, he'd just take pictures on his phone, send it straight from his email on his phone. I mean, there's just a lot of advantages. Is it gonna cost more? Yes. In this year's budget, it won't cost more. They sent me an email and told me about all the credits we're gonna get in this current year. So nobody's budget in this current year will go up. It will go up next year. I'm not saying we have to go to FirstNet. FirstNet is the nationwide, and maybe Councilman Anderson, I don't know if Rome County does it right now, but it is, and they can speak to that, but it's where first response has a phone and has service, whether anybody else does or not. So let's say we had a disaster and the cell tower went out. AT&T will come here and set up a mobile cell tower to make sure fire and police have a phone. If there's a situation where we still have a tower, but there's some kind of disaster and everybody's on their phone, and you know how that is, that don't work. Well, they make sure, AT&T will make sure that fire and police has a phone if they have to kick everybody else off to make that happen. So, I don't know if some of the council want to speak to it. I'm just saying what I've been told. We've been in several different demonstrations with FirstNet, police chief and fire chief. They issued them a phone about a month ago to use, to try, just to make sure it reached all the areas in the city that it was supposed to.
Bobby, are y'all satisfied at the sheriff's department with them?
We are with our jetpack. The officers, and I was one of them that switched to the phone service. It has continually deteriorated ever since we've had it. I've complained, they've complained, and so far we can't get any explanation as to why the service is deteriorating.
So maybe we don't, that's something.
You know, and you was talking about the hotspots on the phones, it's hit or miss, but even worse. They kept saying, oh, it's something that's set in the phone. I said, somebody tell me how to fix it. Nobody tell me how to fix it. I've got some devices at the house will hook up to it. Half the stuff I've got at the house won't hook up to it. It's an iPhone. My iPads won't even hook to it.
So, I mean, I'm just, and if we don't go to FirstNet, eventually we'll have to go to something. I don't know what that something is, but, that's good to know.
Did we anybody drive around, and is Verizon not an option, or?
They are not the recommended company for the federal government FirstNet. Like when 9/11 happened and the contracts were put out to the only companies was AT&T, Verizon, I guess that may be the only option. AT&T got the FirstNet contract with the U.S. government.
So partially, this is actually AT&T's all the time.
But if it don't work in Rockwood, then we don't need to do it.
Let's, see what y'all think about this. Why don't we appoint a committee with the two chiefs, because it's gonna affect them a lot, and Councilman Bryant and Councilman Anderson, and you all work with them and y'all meet and see what our best option is, what's more available. We know it's gonna cost us more, but we are gonna have to address it, there's no question about that. And why don't you two, along with both chiefs, you all come back with a recommendation to us here at the council after y'all research it, look at different options. There may be a lot better option out there. If there is, that's what we need to go to. Is that okay with all the council if we go that way? Chief, y'all fine with that? Okay, so, Councilman Anderson and Councilman Bryant, will y'all make sure that y'all get together? Because if it's correct, the support for these phones runs out in December.
They'll
At the end
keep
of
working.
December. They'll keep working, but we can't get any support for them, so we might want to at least no later than have a recommendation ready for the council by January meeting. Like to have one in December, but I know this is going to take a lot of research and stuff. But if you all could try to have us one by no later than the January meeting, is the council okay with that? Okay. So we need a motion to defer.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Jolly. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it. Next item is consider temporary rent reduction due to COVID-19. As you all know, that our clubhouse park, bar and grill, is out there at the golf course. And, you know that our golf course operates well when they've got that out there, and they operate well when their golf course is out there. And this COVID-19 has hit them pretty hard, like it has a lot of places, and they have asked for a temporary rent reduction due to this COVID-19, and we felt like, Ms. Ruby, when she brought it to me, we felt like we needed to come to council and see if there was a recommendation for council. If you don't, I'll make one, but it's up to you all to think if we need to do this or not. And what I thought is that it's a winter month plus the COVID, so it's gonna really slow down, is if we gave them a reduction through, December, January, and February. It should start picking back up in March when golfing starts back. But we absolutely need to keep them out there because it's big for a course as the course is for them. So, my recommendation would be $300 a month for 3 months, which is basically, when you come down to it, a 1 month, free rent, because it's $900 a month. So they'd be paying $600 each of the 3 months. But it's up to the council. I'm just looking for a recommendation because I sure do want to help them because they've been a big plus for us. What's the will of the council?
Make a recommendation, Mayor, and pass it $300 a month until March.
Got a motion by Councilman True. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Jolly. Councilman True.
I think it's gonna be great when you keep that restaurant up and going, and anything to see you can do to help them out is good.
Councilman Jolly.
I can agree with Councilman True, anything we can do to help them out. It may be more than that needs to be done, I don't know, but I think this is a great start.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is approval to add 2 walk-up windows to include 1 new sidewalk improvements at current drop box, teller type windows and awnings to front of City Hall with COVID-19 reimbursement funds, which we're figuring it's gonna be about $3,800. What I'd like to do, what I'd like to recommend to the council is to see if this is gonna work, and it'd probably be about half the cost, is we put 1 window. And we we make sure that it's gonna be accessible to people. For our handicap, our older people, it's a pretty long haul to walk in and walk all the way around, pay your water, or pay your taxes, whatever. And we'd like to see, since we can't have a drive-through window, there's just no way to do it. Ms. Rupi and Mr. Ishman brought this to me, is that we put 2 windows. What I'd like to recommend is that we do 1 window, put it on this end of the building. We'll have to do a little sidewalk work and things like that. See how it goes. And if it works real well, then we'll put in the second window for just city. But this would be for both of them. It's just an option to keep people not having to walk so far. They just walk up the window, pay the bill, or pay the taxes, or whatever they need to do, and then it would save them a lot of steps. So that would be my recommendation. We do have the COVID money. We can use it for this. So I think if anything, this COVID situation has shown us that there's things we can do different maybe to help. If this ever happened again, we wouldn't be in this situation. So that would be my recommendation. 1, Mr. Ishman, you think would probably be about half that, or maybe a little more?
No more, maybe.
Yeah. But it's completely up to the council. What's the will of the council? Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilman Holloway.
Just thinking, help, especially with this virus going on right now, he come inside, so it'd be a big help to everybody, and then later on, like I said, the older people really help them.
Councilman Bryant.
It's gonna help us down, people are older people, and I'm all in favor of that.
Anyone else?
So the window, is it gonna be on our side of the rooms, or is it gonna be on the water and gas side, or? Because they're gonna use it more probably.
But the first one, what we put in is on the water and gas side, because about 80% of the people come in, they come in to pay their bills on the water and gas. So we would put it over there in their area the first. And basically would be part of that window that's already there, we would just take it out and put in a replacement window that would have an area where it could be opened up and somebody could reach their hand in with pay their bill.
And the reason that we thought maybe starting on this end, if the water, sewer, and gas bill are building down here, we hope that we would move our people over here into this area and we'd still have our window available. Anything else, Councilman Holloway?
No.
Who seconded it? I'm sorry. Councilman Bryant, you have anything?
No, just security reasons, is it gonna be well lit and instructed where it'll be safe?
He's talking about security, will we be well lit and,
Yeah.
and all that?
We'll do that. I mean, we're gonna take care of that, and hopefully there won't be a major lighting issue, but yeah, we'll have a light in there. And
But-
security, yeah.
But Councilman Bryant, we'll still have our drop box for people dropping it off after dark and at night. This will just be for mostly during the day.
Okay, that was my next question, if that was still gonna be left in place. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Is there gonna be camera on it?
We'll be able to put a camera on it, won't we?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get this grant. That'll pay for it.
Good work.
Anything further? And we'll see how this goes. If it goes well, it works well, we may look at the other one at a later date. Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman Cruz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. And I want to thank Mr. Rupi and Harold for coming up with that idea. I'd like to take credit for it, but I can't. But that's great. I think it's a real good idea, and that'll help our, like y'all said, help our elderly, and if we ever get in this situation again, or the remainder of it, we'll be able to use that. The next item is approval to purchase hydraulic hose, machine, and supplies. As y'all well know, we've probably got 5 or 6 pieces of equipment down there that's got the hoses, hydraulics, so we have to go somewhere and buy them. East Tennessee Hydraulics is going out of business, and and they have got this machine where we can make our own. And what we talked about today is it might be an opportunity for us to get the water department and REU involved to, because I know all the time we have them at REU go out, and you can see the price is $4,999, and you can see the two quotes below that. One's $15,700 and the other one's $11,700. We have FEMA money coming in from that storm, and about 90% of it, of the $70,000, will be going to them, so they won't have any problem paying for it. Rick, do you have any comments? Yeah. Any comments on it? Do you think it'd be a good thing for the city?
Well, I know it would be, definitely a big help. As far as equipment, you said 4 or 5 pieces down there or whatever, we probably got a dozen pieces down there.
Well, now let me say this, Rick, I just go on what Becky said, she led me into
I
that.
did not say that.
It might have been her, so, but I'm telling you, it wasn't my fault, I was just repeating what I was heard.
It was my fault.
Yeah, it would be a big plus to us.
See how good man he is, he takes credit.
That blame got to.
Somebody got no way to jump in there, don't they?
Yeah, that's a good job, Earl. But I think it'd be really good for us, and we could work with the utility and them others, keep them from having to do it, maybe we could save some money there, get them involved, so I think it'd be a good idea, and again, I'd like to take credit for it, but this is another thing that Rick came up with, and I think it'd be a great idea. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Anderson, do we have a second? Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilman Anderson.
Nothing.
Councilman Bryant.
They're familiar with how to make them and put all the fittings and all this stuff, is that correct?
And you saw the pictures of all the stuff that comes with it. There's a lot of extra stuff that comes with it too.
Okay.
Anything further?
Well, it comes with a lot of fittings and hoses and stuff.
It's got 3 big bins, shelves and bins and comes with the fittings. That's where the money's really at. Those things are expensive. But it comes
Everything in
with
those
3 sets of those, 2 machines, 2 sets of dies, and the whole works, hoses all.
Okay. Anything further? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Jolly?
Yes.
Councilman True?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item, I'd like to give you a COVID update where we are. We closed the City Hall lobby on November 16th. We closed the community center on the same day. We're still doing basketball sign-ups. And what we're going to try to do is wait till, usually we practice in the month of December and then we start right after the first of the year. So what we're going to try to do is wait till the first of the year, see where we are, and then start practices if we can, and then move on from there. Trying to let this clear a little bit and it get better. But we think we're going to play. There might be some adjustments. I know there'll be some. We probably will not. At this time, if it was today, we would not let anybody but family members. We try to social distance them at the best we can in there. We want the kids to play, but we're going to be as safe and careful as we can. So we're we're keeping the sign-ups going, but we'll make some decisions right after the first of the year after we see how it is. Library is still open, and the reason that we did this, we have some kids that are remote learners at our schools, that's what they use. That's where they go. And if we close that library, it's going to put a hardship on them. So we're leaving it open, and we're doing it a mask mandate. If they come in there to use it, we keep them social distance, and they wear a mask. Police, fire, and city garage is closed to the public. We're still operating, still doing our thing, but it is closed to the public. Airport, still up there. We got masks and social distancing. Golf course, we're going to close the pro shop and let them take the payments through the windows like we did before. Just everything else be the same. That way we don't congregate in there in the pro shop. And as you know, today, mandatory mask, was declared by Mayor Woody. We've told all of our employees, we've told all them, we've already been doing that. I met with our department heads, probably, 2 weeks ago, and we have already been doing masks, and they've been really good. If they're in the truck by themselves, they don't have to wear one. If they've got another person in there, they have to, and they've been doing a really, really good job. Really proud of all of them. As y'all know, we've had a little problem at the city garage. We've had 1 or 2 test positive, and so we've basically been having them all get tested because, they've been intermingling and some. So Rick's been doing a good job on that. All the other tests have come back negative up to this point, so we feel good about that. The Christmas parade, we have canceled. As Kingston and Harriman, I know Harriman has, I'm not sure about Kingston yet, but I think they're going to. The lighting of the tree festivities that we have down here, it's been canceled. The tree will be lit, and it'll be up and all that, but they're not gonna have the lighting of the tree. I'd like to announce tonight that we're gonna have a free drive-in Christmas movie at Tom Fuller Park on December 11th at 6:30 p.m. We've already got the screen and everything. We set it up with that company. They're gonna bring it in. I've talked to the principal at Ridgeview, and they're right now putting out a feeler for all the teachers to get the kids' opinion of what movie they want to see. We're gonna have hot chocolate cookies, and we've got it set up where you can sit in your car and it will play through your radio. So we hope to have a bunch of people out there, but that'll be December 11th at 6:30, and that'll be good for our kids. That won't replace the Christmas parade, but it'll be a good thing for them. So we'll be able to do that. We've got it set up at Tom Fuller Park where it'll be great, so we think that'll be good. That's all I have right now. Comments. Let's start with Councilman Fuller.
Well, it's like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and everybody gets to spend some time with their family.
Councilman Holloway.
Mayor, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Councilman True, Councilman Jolly, for serving on our council. Been a pleasure to work with them. This is their last regular meeting. Councilman Fuller was re-elected. This week, you running again. April, we look forward to working with you. You come aboard. So we just need to keep working together like we are, Mayor.
Councilman Anderson. No. Councilman Bryant.
Everything's good.
Okay. I'm gonna go next before you two go. We wanted to get Councilman True and Councilman Jolly a little something. I need to tell you something that I know y'all gonna find hard to believe because I know I don't look this age at all. I coached both of these gentlemen in junior high football. I wasn't but 12 years old when I was doing it. But in recognition,
We didn't like you either. Dead or down.
recognition, City Councilman Shane Drew, with appreciation of your tireless and dedicated service to the Rockwood City Council, the Library Board, and the Airport Steering Committee. Thank you for all you've done to improve the quality of life for Rockwood citizens for many years. This is Mayor Mike Miller and members of the City Council and City employees, November 23rd, 2020. I want to thank you, well, we're supposed to do this. I want to thank you for all you've done. You've been an excellent city councilman. I hate that you couldn't run again, but I understand why. But I just want to tell you, I know I speak for everyone here and all the employees. You've done a fine job, and we're going to truly miss you. And you talk about fast when he played football for me, he could run. And you weren't fast. That's a back and that's a lineman. Let me tell you that. In recognition of City Councilman Jason Jolly, with appreciation for your tireless and dedicated service to the Rockwood City Council, the Park and Recreation Board, and Airport Steering Committee, thank you for all you've done to improve the quality of life for Rockwood citizens for many years to come. Mayor Mike Miller, members of the city council and city employees, November 23rd, 2020. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I want to say something. Councilman Jolly, you've been on here for 8 years. When you first came on here, this city was in terrible shape financially. We had been through a lot. And what you've done to help bring this city back has been really appreciated by all of us and this whole community. What you all done, along with some other people, not just pointing at you, but right now I am, because this is your time. I want to tell you what you all did and the courage you had as a group to bring this city back to where it is today is really, really appreciated. We'll never forget it, and I know the citizens of Rockwood will never forget it. Y'all brought Rockwood back, and I appreciate everything you've done. Thank you. Now I go to Councilman True. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I would like to say I appreciate the city elected me for these 4 years. I've enjoyed my time here. Most of y'all are gonna laugh about that, but yes, I've enjoyed my time here. Worked with a great council. Miss Becky, she made it really easy. She does a really good job here, so made my job a lot easier. It made me look good. And Mayor Miller, he does a really great job too. So I enjoy this, and hopefully in the future I may be able to run again. We'll see what the future brings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman True. Councilman Jolly.
I appreciate everybody that works for the city of Rockwood, all our citizens that supported us, and me. Like you said, when I first came aboard, I think it was July 1, 2011. I want to pull my hair out. I don't have much, but we had a lot of hard roads, and I think we've all come a long ways. I mean, all of us working together. I think our city employees and our facilities are second to any other city our size. And I appreciate everything everybody's done for me.
Thank you. Again, I want to say, on behalf of myself, the employees, the citizens of Rockwood, this council, what you two have meant to this city. I know what it takes to run for a public office, and I know it's not all rosy. And you all have both done a tremendous job. I'm proud not only of you as councilmen, but I'm proud to call both of you my friend, and it's been a pleasure to work with both of you. It really has. One other thing I want to say is that we are working extremely hard in this town to make it better. And it's all because of you all. The work, the time and effort that y'all put in, serving on these committees, and the job y'all do, I couldn't ask for a better council. I know April, Miss Evans, and Mike, y'all will continue the tradition, and we'll keep making this town improve. If you haven't been down Nelson Street by Ridgeview all the way down, you need to drive down through there. A project we worked on, y'all been a big part of it for a long time. It is there, and it looks beautiful, and it makes good. All the paving that we've been able to do, and the sidewalk repair that we've been able to do for our handicap and stuff, so they have access, it all looks really, really good. And when we get it all striped, I think, when are they?
They're not coming back till Monday.
They'll be back Monday. I think all they like is Tedder Street. Is that correct? They like Tedder Street from Chamberlain Street to Miller Lane. They'll be done with all the paving, then the remaining striping will be done after that. They've done a heck of a job, and Rick, appreciate the time and effort you keep an eye on them and staying after them, and it's worked really good. But Nelson Street really, really looks good, and it's a lot easier to drive on now. And see what happens when you get elected to the council, we pave right in front of your house immediately.
It's true.
So, again, I want to thank this council for the support you gave us to go on and do the rest of Nelson Street. I mean, we look at it now, and it was the right thing to do. I think we do that in front of the comfort station down there at Norfolk, so we like that, and Tedder Street. So that's going to be really good, and the other things that we've been able to accomplish. I want to thank this council our department head and all of our employees for the great work y'all done and they've done to make our city better. So with that, do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Jolly. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, of course, there'd be none.
I want a picture of you and the city council. Maybe I'll go, especially with those.
Yeah, we need to get people right quick.
Let me go get
Get first.
How you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Thank you, babe.
No, thank you.
Let's get a picture, guys. All of carry on fine. Let's just get a picture and then we'll take a note which one, who's going, oh, turn that thing off. I'm gonna say Bobby, one more.